It began in the village of Black Hollow, a place whispered about but rarely visited. The town looked normal from the outside: stone cottages, winding dirt roads, a church bell that rang every morning. But everyone knew Black Hollow kept a secret buried in its roots. A secret tied to the woods that pressed against the village, dark and silent, where even birds refused to sing. Long ago, during the witch trials, the elders had burned 13 women at the edge of those woods. They said the women cursed the town with their dying screams. Villagers swore that sometimes, on windless nights, you could still hear those screams echoing through the trees. But people forgot. Or pretended to forget. Elena, a historian, came to Black Hollow one autumn to study its past. She was young, curious, and drawn to forgotten places. When she asked about the witch trials, the villagers grew uneasy. The innkeeper told her, "Best leave the woods alone. The witches don't forgive. They remember every name." That night, in her rented room, Elena dreamed of 13 figures standing in the forest, their faces hidden by shadows, their hands reaching toward her. She woke with scratches on her arms, thin, red, and fresh. Despite the warnings, Elena ventured into the forest. The trees grew twisted, roots knotted like veins. In the center of the wood stood 13 blackened stakes, charred but unbroken, still reeking faintly of ash centuries old. As she walked among them, whispers filled the air, too soft to understand, but unmistakably voices. She felt the temperature drop, her breath turning white. Then she noticed something carved into one of the stakes, her name. That evening, the villagers gathered for a festival, a tradition meant to keep the witches away. Bonfires blazed, drums pounded, people danced. But Elena noticed the way they all avoided looking at the woods, as if afraid the trees themselves were watching. When the church bell tolled midnight, every fire suddenly blew out. The crowd froze. The drums fell silent. And from the tree lane, 13 women stepped out. Their faces were pale as wax, eyes black as pitch. Their mouths opened, and the air filled with the sound of screaming, not their voices, but the echoes of their burning. The villagers fell to their knees, whispering prayers. Elena stood frozen, unable to look away. One witch, taller than the rest, raised a finger and pointed at Elena. "You," she whispered, her voice like dry leaves. "The 13th. Elena shook her head, terrified. "No, I'm not one of you." But the witches only laughed. Their hands reached toward her, their shadows stretching unnaturally long across the ground. Each villager averted their gaze, refusing to interfere. That was the unspoken rule: never protect the chosen one. Elena tried to run. The woods bent and shifted, paths looping endlessly. Behind her, the witches' footsteps echoed louder and louder, though they never seemed to move. Their laughter filled every corner of the forest. Finally, she stumbled into a clearing lit by 13 candles arranged in a circle. The witches surrounded her, chanting in a language older than the earth. Her body froze, as if unseen hands held her in place. The tall witch stepped forward. Her face was hollow, her eyes pits of endless night. She pressed a burnt stake into Elena's hands. "You carry our memory," she hissed. "And now, you will carry our curse." Elena screamed as fire erupted around her. The flames licked her skin, but did not consume her. Instead, they sank inside, crawling beneath her flesh. She felt her heartbeat twist, her veins burn, her voice no longer her own. When the fire died, Elena was gone. In her place stood the 14th witch. The next morning, the villagers awoke to find a new stake in the woods, blackened, smoldering, with fresh ash at its base. Elena's name had vanished from the stake she saw before. And in Black Hollow, the bell still rang, the villagers still smiled, but no one spoke of the woman who came looking for history. For in Black Hollow, the witches never forgave. They waited. They watched. And every so often, they chose someone new.